So about 1,000 years ago, what happened was there were people living in this area for several hundreds or thousands of years in small groups of people, small bands, boon in population. And there's various theories about what was the impetus to start the site here. There's some colleagues that feel that there was some sort of celestial event. There was a supernova in the area. May have been some charismatic leaders, but for whatever reason, a lot of people came to this area at about 1050. It sort of turned into a very large, what we think of as a city. They did some grand architecture. They built Monk's Mound. They built a large wall that went around the central portion of the city. We call that the Palisade Wall. They lived in small communities and small neighborhoods over the whole area. They had an agriculture-based food source. They also augmented that with some hunting and some fishing. We think that they produced copper artifacts here where they went and obtained the copper from different locations since it's not native to here, but produced some large plates that have a lot of iconography on them. When archaeologists talk about people long ago, we sort of put them together in categories based on what their aspects of their culture are. So Mississippian culture, we call them Cahokians, but the Mississippian culture did take up the whole central portion of the United States. So we can see the influence of Cahokians and Mississippians up to Wisconsin, down to Florida, and over to the Gulf Coast and into Oklahoma.
Right beside me is a display about flint knapping. Flint knapping would have been a vital skill to the Mississippians. It would have provided them with tools for, hunting, preparation of logs to build the stockade walls, axes to build their homes. A very important skill. And while the Mississippians didn't have a monetary system, they probably used bartering. And of course, a flint knapper would have had much to barter and very valuable.
We don't really have a lot of information about behavior because that's something that's very difficult to interpret in the archaeological record. So when we're doing archaeology, we're looking at the things that are left in the soil. So the remains of their lives, basically in stone, in pottery, anything that's very easily degradable, would have rotten away. So we're sort of piecing the culture together just based on the things that we can find in the record. we assume that there was some type of elite structure. So whether it was a king or a group of individuals, those types of things we just don't know. We do know that Monk's Mound was the center of it all. So we think of Cahokia as sort of the capital of a larger Mississippian state. And we think of Monk's Mound as sort of the geographical center, and we know that there was a structure on top of Monk's Mound that we think was used for some type of ceremonial purposes. And we know that there was a large flat area called the Grand Plaza that's in front of Monk's Mound. So that structure that it was on top of Monk's Mound was excavated sometime in the 70s. So unfortunately, those are the types of details that we're still sort of working out with various projects. So we had Canteen Creek here, Cahokia Creek is nearby, and getting on either one of those creeks, they could have gone directly to the Mississippi. And we do know that that our site did extend into East St. Louis and across the river into St. Louis.